Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making Christmas cookies and I'm just so freaking excited. Christmas is my favorite time of year and I just could not help myself. I had to make these with you guys and I'm not doing Vlogmas this year, so I just felt like some Christmas content was absolutely necessary. We are going to get straight into it. So today I'm going to be making some sugar and butter cookies, basically just really simple recipe, and some royal icing to decorate. We're going to be doing all of this in the Thermomix, so that makes my life so much easier. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I'm obsessed with my Thermomix, and that is what we're going to use today. The thing that I love about these Christmas cookies is that they make an amazing gift. The cookie itself and the decorations are really inexpensive, so you can certainly make these, pop them in some cellophane, grab a nice ribbon, a little gift tag, and you can totally gift this to anyone in your life. If you guys are on a budget this year and you're not sure what to gift people, everyone loves cookies. Like, who doesn't love cookies? You can give these to colleagues, your neighbors, your family, your friends. It's just the perfect gift idea. Okay, I've just put my hair up so we can get down to business, and I've got the recipe loaded here on my Thermomix. For those of you that have a Thermomix, the recipe that I'm using today is the simple butter biscuits recipe. For those of you that don't have a Thermomix, don't worry, I'm going to leave the recipe down in the description for you below, as well as all the ingredients that we've used. So let's just jump on in, start cooking. So first things first, the recipe calls for 2 pieces of lemon zest. I actually just find it way easier to just get a lemon and zest it straight into the bowl. This is just what I find the easiest, so you go ahead and do whatever suits you. Okay, next step. We're going to add 130 grams of white sugar. Now, if you want to use a kitchen scale, go ahead. I have a Thermomix, obviously. Freaking love this thing. It's got a built-in scale. So next step, just going to pop on the lid. Next, and then turn it all the way. Such a good sound. Usually means food is done. So we're just going to go next. So basically the Thermomix has just done all the mixing for me. And yes, beautiful. So I put in normal sugar and it has just turned our lemon zest and sugar into icing powder. And it smells so good. If you guys like lemony desserts, like lemon tarts, lemon anything, you're gonna love these lemon biscuits. They are so yummy. So now it says to add 220 grams of unsalted butter cut into pieces and softened. I have my butter here, so I'm just going to go ahead and drop them in until the scale reaches 220. Pop on the lid. So we're going to crank it for 30 seconds on speed 4. Another thing I love about the Thermomix is that because it does everything itself, in that 30 seconds or however long it's taking to cook whatever you're making, you can go ahead and do something else. I often like to clean the kitchen or wipe up my working space, whatever it is, saves you so much time. I'll show you guys where we're at. So at the moment our butter is kind of like in this big ball, and I think we're just going to go again. Yeah, we're going to go for another 30 seconds just to really make sure that everything's incorporated. The most important part of this step, if you are doing this without a Thermomix, the most important thing is that your sugar granules, if you're not using icing sugar, or if you are, whatever, you just want to make sure when you feel the butter in between your fingers, you can't feel any little sugar granules. You want it to be really smooth and soft. Scraping down the bowl again. So this is where the mixture is sort of starting to get lighter. I don't know if you guys can tell, but when I first put it in, it was very yellow. It's starting to get a little lighter. It's still not completely white, but we're going to go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of natural vanilla extract. Now this is probably one of the ingredients that I always use. I have it in my fridge all the time. It is the Queen's Organic Vanilla Bean Paste. And let me tell you guys, this is the most beautiful vanilla flavor. It has vanilla beans in there, so you get that beautiful vanilla bean look in your cooking. I just freaking love it. I put it with some berries sometimes. Sometimes I put it in cream. It's just amazing. So it says to put 2 teaspoons. I'm actually just going to eyeball it because I feel like it'll be fine. Okay, now it says to add 1 egg. We have our egg. Now we're going to mix that up again. This time for a minute. Oh, this looks so beautiful. It's starting to look like buttercream that you would put on like cupcakes or something, because essentially that is all buttercream is like butter and sugar and some flavoring. Okay, so we're going to add 350 grams of plain flour. Going in. So now we're going to mix again for 15 seconds this time. In between mixing, you want to make sure you're scraping down your bowl. My Thermomix reminds me of that, and it will stop stirring to say, you know, make sure everything's in the bowl and scrape down the sides. If you're not using the Therm though, make sure that you're doing this. So it says to transfer the dough into a well-floured silicone bread mat or work surface and divide into 2 even portions. So what I'm actually going to do is shove it right here onto the bench. It says to divide into 2 even portions. I'm just going to eyeball it. Make sure you flour your knife as well so the dough doesn't stick. Now you just want to go ahead and shape your dough into a nice round disc shape, and you're going to cover it in cling film, Glad wrap, and pop it in the fridge. So the main reason that we're popping it in the fridge is to cool that butter back down, because it has been whipped and it's going to be really soft, which means it's going to be hard to work with when we're cutting out our cookie shapes. So putting it in the fridge for about 1 to 2 hours just really helps firm that butter back up again. So there you go. I'm going to pop this in the fridge for about an hour and I'll be back with you soon. Okay, so it has been about 2 hours. So we're going to go ahead and bring our dough out of the fridge. The butter should have hardened up by now. And I'm also going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 170 degrees Celsius. And you just want to line your baking tray with some baking paper. So the dough is certainly nice and hard, and what we need to do now is work quite quickly, and we just want to roll the dough out until it's about 5 millimeters thick. You can kind of eyeball that, it doesn't matter if it's slightly off really. Now I don't have a rolling pin, but what I do have is wine, so that's gonna have to do. Okay, so once you've got your dough at sort of your desired thickness, I think this is looking pretty good. I don't want them to be too thick, but I also don't want them too thin. You want to go ahead and grab your cookie cutters. So if you don't have Christmas cookie cutters at home, or if you don't have cookie cutters at all, just go ahead and grab like a glass. Just be sure to coat whatever you're using in a little bit of flour so that it doesn't stick to your dough. And then if you're doing round cookies, you can just have fun decorating them with Christmas colors and Christmas patterns onto the cookie itself. I have today a star and a Christmas tree. So I'm just kind of going to go ahead and dust these with some flour so they don't stick to my dough. And then I'll give it one more round out because it's got a few little finger marks. So I'm just going to push that in. Beautiful. I like to give it a little wiggle as well because sometimes it won't go all the way through, so you just want to wiggle it to be sure. So I like to peel the excess dough away because I just find that it really helps pick up your cookie shape, and then once you've got the cookie shape, you just want to pop it onto your baking tray that you lined with baking paper, and you can pop them in the oven. Now I've got all of my cookies onto my baking sheet. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. You just want to keep an eye on it. Wait until they're slightly golden, but you don't want them to be too brown. And then we can take them out and let them cool. Hey Siri, set timer 8 minutes.
Okay, 8 minutes and counting.
Love technology. Oh my gosh, you guys, they're all done. Here are all of my cookies. So what I'm going to do now is just let these cool right down because we can't decorate them until they are completely cooled. So I'm going to put them off to the side and then we can make the royal icing to decorate. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select royal icing. Let's start cooking. Now it says 200 grams of white sugar. Same as before, we'll just measure it in. Pretty sure we're going to be turning that into icing sugar, so the therm is just going to blitz that up 30 seconds. Okay, so I have made icing sugar once before in the therm, and this is my favourite part. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but isn't that crazy? So now we've got to go ahead and add 1 egg white, which I have here. So I'm just going to add that in. I'm going to need about 1/4 teaspoon of lemon juice. I'm going to go ahead and use that lemon that we used the zest for earlier. I'm just going to squeeze it straight in because I don't need a whole lot, apparently. Mix for 10 seconds. Okay, and that's done. That was easy. Beautiful, it looks really good, you guys. So the consistency of this icing is really important. So basically royal icing, you can thin it down or you can keep it thick. This one is actually quite thick at the moment, which is great for decorating because it will hold its shape. Or you can thin it out if you want to put it like all over a cake or all over the top of the cookie, or what you would call flooding the cookie. So now I can actually go ahead and put the Thermomix away. We are done with her. I'm making such a big mess as well. Harry is not going to be happy when he comes home. I definitely need to clean this before he gets back from work, that's for sure. Okay, so as you guys can see, the royal icing is quite white in colour. So that is perfect because then we can add our own food dyes to create whatever colour we like for decorating. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, and you can totally have fun with decorating too. So like if you want to add sprinkles or Smarties or whatever you have at home, yeah, go ahead and add those as well because there's really no rules to decorating, especially if you're doing it with your kids. Like they will be very creative and just go for it. So don't worry too much. Okay, so now that all is left to do is decorate. We've got some sprinkles. I've also made some makeshift piping bags out of just like a Glad bag, like these Ziploc bags. And yeah, you guys can just get creative, use any food colorings you want. You definitely don't have to go with pink like I have. I just love pink. So one thing that I find really pretty with these stars is you can just do like a really thin back and forth. And once that sets, it'll look really cute, and that's very much like a rustic kind of vibe. So there's that one. So with the star, I'm just kind of going over it like that. And then we can add some sprinkles. Once you finish decorating, make sure you give your cookies some time to set. You want the icing to set down. So go ahead and decorate everything and then pop it to the side before you serve them up or before you wrap them up. I find the easiest way to wrap these up as a gift is to simply get a little bit of cellophane, sort of sit them on top of the cellophane and then pull the cellophane up, tie it around with a ribbon, add a little gift card, and you're good to go. So that is it for today's video, you guys. I had so much fun filming this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and hopefully I've inspired you to bake some cookies of your own. Alright, so I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video, if not sooner. 3, 2, 1.